Have you ever found yourself crushing on a straight girl and wondering, do you really have a chance with this girl? Is this gonna work out? Should I consider pursuing her? Well, in this video, I'm gonna cover the complexities revolving around relationships with straight women. Stick around for the essential do's and don'ts in these scenarios and if you should consider pursuing a straight woman in your situation. So before we get into how to date a straight woman, I want to make sure to cover understanding the situation. So first things first is understanding the dynamics at play between you and this other woman who classifies themselves as straight. When we talk about straight women, that typically involves heterosexual women. And that means that this is a woman who's strictly interested in men. So in a situation where she is in a committed relationship with her boyfriend, that is a big no, okay? No, we do not want to cross that boundary and we want to respect her in her relationship with her boyfriend. We don't want to be a homewrecker. We do not want to get into that territory or create that sort of drama. One thing you also want to understand that if she has set her boundaries as saying, hey, I'm straight, and you've probably poked the question, has she ever considered dating a woman? And she says, oh, no, never. Maybe not in so much disgust, but perhaps just a very strict no, like she can't see herself being with a woman ever. You want to respect that. I want to make this point because sometimes we may see this as a challenge. And us as queer women have also been a target in the opposite sense where straight men will try to pursue us and not respect our boundaries and think, oh, she's just playing hard to get. Or maybe we're just a project to them that they think, they as in men, are thinking that they can change our mind, that we will somehow be attracted to them, or they are one man that we can make an exception for. We don't want to be doing that and making this other woman, the straight woman in this scenario, uncomfortable, because we are just going to be terrible as these other straight men who are going to try to fix us or hopefully be the one exception. Now, getting off my rant, this is where I'm gonna change gears and get into a situation where there could be a possibility that you could be dating this straight woman. Sexuality can be fluid, and in some cases, straight women who have had a history of dating other men could potentially have feelings for other women because maybe it's just unexplored or there is a spark somewhere that could be a potential. Please heed my advice with caution. Understanding the dynamics is important so that way you don't get yourself in trouble and potentially burn bridges that you didn't intend to. So I've encountered a few straight women in my time, and a few things where it could be successful is if you're looking for a hookup, there's a higher chance of that happening. There's less emotional connection. There will be women who are just looking for a sexual encounter experience and not really be fully committed. That allows both parties to keep their emotions away, okay? So if this person who is straight claims themselves as straight, they could try a one-night stand, but they may not be fully invested in seeing themselves in a relationship with a woman. You as well, this is easier for you as a queer woman. You can protect your heart or protect your feelings from getting hurt, especially with somebody who says that they say they're straight, and that way you don't keep your hopes up. On the other hand, if you're looking for something more than a hookup, you're looking for a relationship, dating specifically, I want to put a disclaimer that this is a very high risk of getting yourself brokenhearted. If you're somebody who wears your heart on your sleeve, I would highly advise for you to not get yourself in a situation where you are in a relationship with this woman, a straight woman specifically. But again, I'm going to cover a very specific exception of this potentially playing out. If you have a twinkle of hope, let me guide you. Please take notes. Tip number 1 is gauging her interest. This is going back to reading the dynamics of the situation, understanding how she feels towards you. So before, making any moves, ask yourself, what is your relationship with this girl? How do you know her? How long have you known her? How do you see her treating you differently from other people in her life, acquaintances and friends? Do you see her treating you very specifically different? And be honest with yourself. Do not sugarcoat it. Oh, she touched my hand and she smiled at me this way. She's never done that before. I think this is something special. You are blowing this out of proportion. Be realistic with yourself. Is this truly something that is special between you and her? Or is she treating you as a friend like many other people? Another point in terms of gauging her interest is pay attention to her body language. How is she interacting with you? Again, back to that touching. Is she flirting with you or is she just being friendly? Look for signs of prolonged eye contact, physical touch, a lot of one-on-one time. Again, going back to comparing her interactions with you versus her friends. So the whole point is making sure that you don't confuse friendliness with romantic interest. Tip number 2, building a genuine connection. I definitely know there have been times where I have fallen in this trap and I just get googly eyes for this girl who's just beautiful and I don't even know her. But part of building interest in having that relationship is actually building genuine connection. So you want to focus on building a genuine friendship first, because she may be super friendly because she's working at Starbucks, and of course she's supposed to have her best smile and best customer service up front. Again, don't confuse that for romantic interest. She's just being friendly, doing her job. But if you are genuinely having this bond, this is going to be different from you and the other customers in this scenario. You got to ask yourself, are you two showing interest in hobbies? Are you supporting her through challenges and creating a stronger emotional bond? Now, we're talking about a situation where, of course, this is not just you meeting this girl at the coffee shop or, at the grocery store. This is something that you've built a relationship with this straight woman over a long period of time. You've had trials and tribulations and you've been there to support her. Of course, having these relationships over a long period of time and being there through the bad and the good, naturally feelings are going to develop. A bond is going to develop, and that's what we would call more of a solid friendship. Tip number 3, respect her boundaries. If she's somebody who identifies as straight and you've asked her before, hey, have you imagined yourself being in a relationship with a woman? Giving her a hypothetical situation to see how she would answer, and she says no, and that kind of gives you a clue into how she could potentially answer or respond to the idea of you dating her. You want to respect her answer that she is straight, not interested in women, and you definitely want to avoid pressuring her into making her uncomfortable simply because she's not interested in you. Tip number 4, communicate openly. If you do sense mutual feelings, have an open and honest conversation about this. Let her know how you feel without putting any pressure on her. Use I statements to express your feelings. For example, I feel a really strong connection between you and I when we spend this time together, we're studying for this exam, and I'm noticing that, you're choosing to spend your time with me specifically compared to your other friends. And I feel like there's something there. How do you feel about this? This is obviously very vulnerable. Practice it ahead of time to make yourself feel comfortable. But having this initial sentence helps open this conversation. And if you've already gotten to that point where you have a solid friendship, solid bond with her, she should be open to having that conversation and not feeling awkward about it. Tip number 5, be prepared for various outcomes. Before having this conversation with opening up your feelings, I want you to mentally prepare yourself for the potentially different outcomes. Be prepared that she's gonna say no. Be prepared that she can potentially say yes. And in both scenarios, it's going to lead to something different. If she says no, I hope you can internally accept that rejection and be okay at that moment. You can go cry your eyes out later. But at the moment, you're there to talk her through it. Make sure this conversation isn't awkward. If she says no, hey, it's okay. I know we had something here. I hope we can still be friends. I understand that you don't want a relationship or you're not comfortable with a relationship with me, and understand that you're straight. And I might have, mistakenly read in too much into it. I hope we can move past this and we can still be friends. This is one example. You don't have to be friends if you don't want to. That's totally up to you on your decision on how you want to handle that outcome. But this is an example of response to this person. If she says yes, then that is going to lead to something different. If she says yes, congratulations. I want you to understand that this is going to be treading new territory for her. If she's never ever been in a relationship with women before, I want you to tread carefully in this relationship, because this is going to be different from dating a woman who is certain about their identity. So I know we covered a lot of things, and I have to say, to be vulnerable, I've definitely been in multiple situations where I've tried to be with a straight woman. There have been mixed results from that. But the key takeaways here is that if you're looking for a hookup, a one-night stand, you're definitely going to have a lower risk of getting your heart broken in these situations. Typically, one-night stands are more physical. It's more about the physical experience and not so much about the emotional, which can be detrimental to get over. Yeah, it sucked. And when I say it, I'm talking about me, having gone through it. But in a case in this video where I talk about if you wanted to have a more intimate relationship with a straight woman, that comes with the key to approaching the situation is with more sensitivity and respect making sure that you're understanding her and keeping her boundaries in mind and keeping your emotional well-being at a top priority. And you know, if things don't work out, don't worry about it. There's going to be plenty of other women out there who are looking for women just like you. But say that you need help getting over that straight girl that you asked out and she said no. It didn't work out, or really other rejections that you need help with. You want to check out this video over here. This video is where I'm going to guide you how to handle rejections the right way. Now, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on another video about lesbian dating and relationship advice. And as always, stay confident and stay true to yourself.